What's going on, my peoples? Welcome to the RLC TV channel. Today we're going to do a food service Q&A. Remember to keep sending in those Q&A. I'm going to put my email in the description. Today I got 4 questions that I'm going to answer coming from one of my subscribers. So let's get right to it without wasting no time. First question he want to find out is, I'm going to read the question and I'm going to answer these questions to the best of my abilities. So you guys keep emailing me your questions and I'll definitely put an answer for you guys as soon as possible. So the first question goes, about how many vacation days do you get when you first start out with your company? Well, with US Foods, you're gonna get a week for the first year. In your second year, you're gonna get 2 weeks. But to give you a short answer, you're gonna get a week for your first year. And to be honest with you, after your first year, you're gonna get a week the first year, but after you complete your first year, you'll have 2 weeks on that second year. So that's pretty good. And then by the time you hit year 4, you're looking at 3 weeks vacation. So I think that's pretty fair. I know over there at GFS, you'll get 1 week vacation the first week that you start out. You'll get a week vacation. But most of these companies, man, you gotta earn vacations, meaning that the longer you stay there, you build up vacation time. So that's how it goes with most of these companies. And pretty much Cisco's and all the other companies, they're pretty much set up the same way. So it's just the longer you stay with these companies, the more vacation time you get. So I think that's pretty good, you know. All right, next question. What is your typical start time and end time? Okay, my typical start time and end time, usually in food service, you're gonna start around between 2:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. You're gonna start around that time. I see the new drivers, most of the new drivers are starting around 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. because their accounts is pretty much is kind of different than drivers that starting earlier. Usually the veteran drivers are starting earlier because they have a lot of what we call key drops, and we'll start early to go service these customers, because obviously it's nobody at the restaurant because it's a key drop. So usually I tell the new guys, you don't have to worry about starting out too early at first, because mostly the veteran guys I see starting out early, unless you're doing what we call a chain account in food service. Now if you do a chain account, that's different. Chain drivers, they usually start anywhere from 9 p.m. until like 1 a.m. in the morning. So chain is different. Chain is pretty much overnight work. So, and you want to know what's our end time? Most of these routes is pretty much set up to be between 8 hours and 12 hours. Some routes go over 12 hours for the day, and some routes is under 8 hours. You know, the average driver will work from like 4 a.m. and they'll get off anywhere between 2 p.m. to like 4 p.m. You know what I mean? So that's just the average driver. Where you have some drivers, they come in and they do their work so fast that they'll only average 8 to 9 hours a day. So I hope that answers your question. All right, next question is about how many stops do we have per day? Okay, that's a good question right there too. Okay. Now, if you want to talk about chain account, chain drivers will average anywhere between 6 to 10 stops a day. Now, where you got people who have the street routes, they're going to average anywhere between 8 to up to 16 stops per day. Then you have companies like Cisco. Cisco would average anywhere between 12 up to 22 stops per day. You know what I mean? I heard that from drivers before. I seen over here at US Food, I seen us average up to 17 stops in one day sometimes, you know. But I would tell you that don't worry, like the new drivers that's coming in, I don't think a company is going to give you all these stops to start out. You know, you got to get your feet wet. You know, so I think the average new drivers are looking anywhere from 6 to 10 stops per day, which is not bad in the food service industry. With 6 to 10 stops, you should be able to get your work done between 10 hours. So it's not that bad when you think about it. And then you have drivers that do like real big accounts. They average anywhere from 3 to 5 stops per day because their accounts are so big and most of the products is taking up space in the truck. So I hope that answer your question on that. Okay, next question he asked me, what is the lowest case count and the highest case count we have on stops per day? Like, he want to know, like, what's the highest amount of cases we'll have on the stops and what's the lowest amount of cases we'll have on the stops. Well, let me start off with telling you the lowest amount of cases we'll have on the stops, and that's pretty much an easy answer, and the answer is 1 case. Even though we're not supposed to, it's supposed to be like a case minimum. Like, I'm not sure, every company have a different case minimum, where case minimum is like a minimum amount of case that you're supposed to order, and I'm not even sure what our case minimum is, but I know that for us to deliver 1 case to a customer, it pretty much got to be on a case-by-case scenario. Like, how bad does that customer need that case, you know? And when you want to talk about what's the highest case count for a customer, then we're looking at about man, that's a crazy question, because I've seen customers get anywhere from 400 Ks up to 900 Ks. I even heard cases where customers, you even have like some food service company have some big accounts that they get 1,500 cases. I know a food service company that deliver to the Navy ships and stuff. They're known to be getting 1,500 cases to 2,000 cases. So it all depends, man. And again, if you're just coming into the food service industry, ain't nothing for you to worry about, because the bigger the case account is for a customer, the easier it is for your day. You know what I mean? The bigger case count is, that means the less stops you have on your truck for the day. And the key thing in food service is how many stops you got. The stops will make you or break you. You know what I mean? So that's all I got to say about that. You know what I mean? So I hope that answered your question. I'm going to leave my email in the description, and I'm going to be doing a lot more food service Q&A. So you guys just keep sending in a question, and I'll make sure to answer your question to the best of my ability. And y'all just hit that like button, and remember to subscribe, hit the bell, and notify you when I drop a video. And hope everybody have a good day. Stay tuned.